Let's talk about being in a toxic relationship/relationship advice. Hi, I want to get a little deep and a bit personal in this episode. Toxic relationships are no joke. Sometimes there are situations where you love a person so much that you would do anything for them. This is not healthy all the time, especially when you are not getting the same things back and the person is expecting you to do it, but when you don't, that's when the problems happen. Other times, there are situations where you sacrifice so much for a person and have been through many heartbreaks because of this person, and you don't know the difference between if you're wrong or right, and you're just lost. To be in a mind space where you're so unsure and so ready to blame yourself is a sign that you're most likely in a toxic relationship. I've been in a situationship with a person for a year. It wasn't supposed to turn into what it did. I felt hard for him, even though I knew that he didn't want a relationship. We did normal relationship things like going out, getting to know each other, etc. It was a bit hard in the beginning since I was dealing with terrible depression, and he didn't know how to handle it because he had never been in that situation before. I needed him, but I didn't blame him for not knowing how to help. But sooner and deeper into the relationship, he had told me that he wasn't good at giving advice. And I tried to reassure him and tell him that it's okay, and I can tell you what to say to me when I'm feeling down. I just really want your support. But it's like he refused. And it made me sad because at the time I didn't really have anybody but him. And all I wanted was his affection and for him to talk to me. He couldn't even talk to me regular. Sometimes when I was down, all I wanted was a regular conversation. And he couldn't do that. I will admit that throughout the relationship, we both had a hand in being toxic towards each other. The problem with him, though, is that he likes to put the blame on me. He tells me that I don't take accountability, and that's a big problem that I have. But he's spiteful, manipulative, and gaslights me. But it's never his fault. It takes a strong person to see what's going on and try to make an effort to move on. It's hard. I promise you it is. Sometimes it feels like you can't stay because that's the love of your life and the person you want to be with. But I promise you there's more for you. You just have to push through. Some people may believe that they don't have much time to find love or no one else will love them like this person does. But that is so far from being the truth. Go outside. Meet some new people. Try that dating app. Go out with friends. There are so many opportunities to find someone if you just give it a chance. Toxic relationships are hard. They're hard to be in, hard to leave, hard to understand, and I get it. I've been there. Look within yourself and realize that it's time to end this chapter. It's time to leave and never come back. Nothing's ever easy when it comes to breakups, but it'll be okay. Now, I want to get into relationships in general. One thing that I've learned is that it's okay to leave a person if your goals and mindsets don't align. It may work now, but it won't work in the future if you aren't willing to compromise. Now, I'm not saying you have to compromise, but I'm saying that no one should have to compromise their goals because they love someone. If that person truly loves you, then they will let you go instead of having you change yourself. They don't really care about you if they keep you there and make false promises that result in you having to compromise in the end. Another thing I learned is that compromising is okay in a relationship, as long as it's used in moderation and not to change yourself. Compromising what to cook for dinner or where to go and what to watch are just some examples of the little things that are okay. Other things like changing yourself, and if you wanted to name your first child something and they don't agree with it, or if you have some ideals and maybe some religious ideals and they want you to change that. You shouldn't have to change that for someone. A final thing I learned is that love isn't good enough to stay. If a person tells you not to leave because they love you, or if you make a decision to stay because you love that person, then a reevaluation needs to happen. It's not worth it. And it'll only take a toll on your mental health and soon your physical. You can love a person from a distance, but don't stay if it's not worth it. Thank you so much for joining me again for another episode. This one is a little bit shorter than the rest of them, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I got to a lot of people who've been through toxic relationships and who just need some advice and some perspective. And I know a lot of people have been through this but don't have anybody to talk to about it or anybody that they think they relate to, so I'm just a voice for that. Please don't forget to email me at letstalkwithshi'nae@gmail.com to send me any questions that you may have that I can answer. That's LETSTALKWITHSHI'NAE@gmail.com. Please just email me anything. If there's any question, anything that comes to your mind, I will make sure to read them. And if I feel like there's something that I can make a whole episode about, then I will. I promise you I will. If I have a whole story that can go with it and a whole bunch of advice, I will. Or if I get enough questions, I can do an episode where I just answer questions. A whole bunch of questions. Or I can read some of the questions at the end of other episodes. So please email me if there's anything that comes to your mind. It's not a requirement, so I'm not gonna blame you if you don't. There's many more episodes to come and many more ideas in my head, so don't you worry. And once again, the email is letstalkwithshi'nae@gmail.com. LETSTALKWITHSHI'NAE@gmail.com. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.